The NBA on TNT. Tonight, rising stars Shareef Abdur-Rahim and Kobe Bryant take center stage. Back in the spotlight, though, is the Lakers' Shaquille O'Neal. And make no mistake, he's back.
I love the West Side. It's time to party. Whenever Superman is in the house.
Along with Reggie Theus, this is Bob Neal welcoming you to GM Place in Vancouver, British Columbia. The Los Angeles Lakers, who've won 4 out of their last 6, and the Vancouver Grizzlies, who have lost 6 in a row and are struggling defensively, are set to do battle here tonight. The Vancouver Grizzlies have never beaten the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the Lakers, on the other hand, had a little bit of their haughtiness knocked out of their step when they lost to Philadelphia for the 2nd time this year. And as you take a look here, you see in the 8 losses for the Lakers, 4 of those losses have come to sub 500 teams. As you would say, what's up with that?
I tell you what, Bob, I mean, what that shows you is a lack of maturity and leadership on this team. They haven't earned the right yet to take teams lightly like some of the teams of the yesterday. I tell you what, the players told me earlier that one of the things that kept them focused was the fact that they were embarrassed about how the way the team ended the season last year. I think sometime this season they're forgetting what happened last season, Bob.
Shaquille was out 20 games with his injury. He returned 2 games ago, but tonight will be the first night for Shaquille O'Neal to be in the starting lineup with the Lakers, and that one word comes to mind: adjustment.
No kidding. Adjustment's a big word for this team, and they're going to have to make a few of them. One being their up-tempo basketball game. They got to keep that, but they got to find a way to mix that in with some half-court basketball, and that's going to fall on Nick Van Exel's shoulder to keep the tempo going, but to find a way to keep Shaq involved in the game, slow the game down just enough for him to get involved, but not stop it. That would be a bad thing for the Lakers.
And the Los Angeles Lakers lead the league in scoring and field goal percentage. Vancouver down near the bottom defensively. The Vancouver Grizzlies, what is Vancouver going to do with the Lakers and their high-powered offense?
Well, I tell you what, the last 4 games, teams have averaged 113 points against the Grizzlies, and that's a big problem because the Lakers come in here #1 in the league in scoring. Problem, the defense in the low post, they can't guard anybody. Consequently, they have to double team everybody. Then they're slow getting out to the shooters. But they do have one guy that's given us all-star numbers this year, and that's Shareef Abdur-Rahim, giving you 35 straight nights with double-figure scoring, #5 in the league in that category.
And we've got some young stars. They'll be fun to watch here tonight. We'll be back for the tip-off in just a moment at GM Place in Vancouver, British Columbia. Right now, after this, we'll join Ernie Johnson in Atlanta.
So here
it's all within your reach.
Vancouver, British Columbia, one of the more beautiful cities on this planet. Let's look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Los Angeles Lakers, Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones start at the guards, Fox and Horry at the forwards, and Shaquille O'Neal making his first start since he missed 20 with his abdominal strain. You'll notice that Lee Mayberry is starting at the point tonight for Vancouver. Antonio Daniels, their lottery-picked guard out of Bowling Green, has the flu, will not play tonight. Sam Mack at the off guard, Abdur-Rahim at the 3 spot, Otis Thorpe at the power forward, and Big Country Reeves at center tonight. He'll have all he can handle with Shaquille O'Neal. The shorter guy with the graying hair, but nevertheless well coiffed, is Brian Hill. 5th season as an NBA coach, of course. You know, last year the story in Orlando, and now taking over with the Vancouver Grizzlies, and he says he's trying to find a way to get him to play D. Del Harris, what me worry? Del worries about everything.
No question. And should he worry about this team? Yes, because the Lakers have a tendency not to get up for these kind of games. But I tell you what, losing to Philadelphia at home the other night, I think they'll come out and ready to play tonight.
Yeah, we spent some time talking to Del before this basketball game, and Del, we asked him about the free throw shooting. The Lakers have just been stinking up the joint. They're down to below 70%, 6.689. He says You know, I've got guys missing free throws lately, like Rick Fox, like Nick Van Exel. This isn't just a Shaquille O'Neal story.
Right. Well, in that stretch at home, Shaquille only shot 14 free throws, so it wasn't him.
Well, the Lakers are 9-0 against Vancouver. If they have any opportunity to get off the schneid, they have it with Shaquille O'Neal, who's looking over here, and he's mouthing to us, watch. Well, of course we're going to watch. That's what we paid the big bucks for, Shaq. Shaq wins the tip with Otis Thorpe. And the Los Angeles Lakers, with a 24-8 record, they are 11-5 on the road, having never lost to Vancouver, have the ball. Shaquille draws a foul as he tries the turnaround down the baseline against Big Country Bryant Reeves.
Well, you know, with Shaq looking over to us saying, watch, you know what that means, that he's going to try to take over this basketball game. And Brian Hill told us before the game that one thing that they have to do is to get to Shaq quick. As soon as he touches it, they want to double him. But if Shaq is aggressive and makes his moves very fast, double teams are going to be hard to come by.
There's Shaq's free throw. Of course, everybody enjoying that. Here's the impact with him. They're 9-1. That was the first game they lost against Philadelphia with him in the lineup this season. 15-7, not bad without. But you see how much more dominant the Lakers are with Shaquille in the lineup.
And this lineup that they have tonight with Elvin Campbell coming off the bench, I think is the Lakers' best lineup because it gives them the inside presence and it gives them that third guard all on the floor so that they can keep that running game going.
Speaking of guards, a shortage of guards for Vancouver. Otis Thorpe finds nobody, takes a long jump shot, nobody to rebound. Back come the Lakers leading 1-0. This is Robert Horry. Horry will give away some of the time to power forward to Elvin Campbell. Campbell will come in and replace Shaquille some of the time. Working to Shaquille early. Rick Fox with a follow. Now Shaquille, I knew that would be jammed. 3-0 LA.
Well, that particular time, the Grizzlies kind of standing around, letting Shaq and Fox just rebound all in their faces.
This is Sam Mack, good perimeter shooter. Otis Thorpe came from Detroit. Before that, Portland, Houston. Now they kick it out from long range. Lee Mayberry, he's in his 6th year from Arkansas, starting at the point tonight in place of Antonio Daniels, and that is a big absence. Shaquille on the break, missed the lay-in. Reeves with a rebound.
I'll tell you what, that's pretty decent defense by Sam Mack standing in the way of Shaq Daddy, because you can get ran over pretty significantly under those circumstances.
Hugh Evans, Lou Grillo, and Rodney Mott are our officials tonight, by the way. And it'll be sideline out of bounds. This is keying the play. Number 3 is Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
Well, he's their primary offensive guy. Otis Thorpe.
Hard to the hoop, not getting it to follow. Nick Van Exel lobbing ahead. Rick Fox never saw it.
Well, you know, Dell said Lakers not capitalizing on some of their fast break opportunities, being a little lax with the basketball. Offensively, let's take a look at what the Grizzlies going to do. They're pretty good down low offensively. And then when you got Reeves, a guy who can hit the jumper, that's going to bring Shaq away from the bucket. So they could have some opportunities to score.
Into Reeves against Shaquille O'Neal. 0 for 4 now as Rahim misses kick ball from Mack. So Vancouver unable to throw it in the ocean so far. Vancouver scored 65 points in the first half on Sunday night against Seattle before Seattle came out and just really blew them away in the third quarter. But it's a team that will run even sometimes when it's to their detriment. Brian Hill wants to establish the fact that they'll run the basketball.
Well, he's trying to establish a way to play here, and I think that's important. Nice move by Rick Fox, but he's really good at that three-point play action, never putting the ball back down after he hears the whistle. Real versatile player. But Brian is really trying to set up a way to play here. I think of Rick Pitino when I think of that and what he's done in Boston. You have to establish a different way and a solid way of playing basketball, and that's what he's trying to do, sometimes to a fault.
9:22 to go in the first period. Lakers ball movement. Horry dangerous from the perimeter. Not this time. Reeves with a rebound. 3-0 Los Angeles. Lee Mayberry. Big Country Reeves, you remember him, of course, his final 4 appearances at Oklahoma State. Otis Thorpe is fouled as he gets the ball inside.
Well, there's that nice presence that Otis Thorpe brings to you on the inside. Big, strong guy. Play with him when we were in Sacramento together. Watch him tuck the ball. He's got huge meat hooks. Can grab it off the dribble one hand and will dunk on just about anybody.
Otis Thorpe's career numbers: 15 points, 8.8 rebounds, only missed 32 games in 13 years. This is his 14th season. This year, though, he's down to 11.5 points, 7.7 rebounds, and has been slumping the last 6 since he came back from his injury. And as Brian said, you see the wrap on his left knee. As Brian said, Brian Hill said, he just doesn't seem to be quite right yet.
Well, you know, it's going to take a little while. I see that his assists are up a little bit, so he's trying to at least give the ball up. And from when I played with Otis, that's a big change.
I have a feeling he found a way to get it back. Ultimately, looking for Shaq in the post. Nick Van Exel missed the 3. The last time these two played in mid-November, Nick Van Exel was 9 of 9 from the floor, 6 of 6 from beyond the arc. So he's already missed here tonight. That's Sam Mack for a triple. Good outside shooter is Sam Mack. 27 years old. Second round draft choice. In December, he shot 52% from beyond the arc. Shaq inside missing. Horry with a rebound. Horry misses the jumper. We have a 4-3 Vancouver lead. Looking for Raheem, who's yet to get on track tonight. Traveling is the call as he tried to back in. This young man just turned 21 a week ago. Of course, you know he's from Wheeler High School in Marietta, Georgia. Talking about Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Went to California, played 1 year there. Then was the 3rd overall pick last year by Vancouver. Rick Fox fouled going to the hoop. LA's having trouble throwing it in the hoop, too. How about 1 of 7?
1 of 7 shooting, but getting any shot they want. It's just a matter of time before those shots start to fall. They've missed several shots right up under the basket. That's not going to happen long for this team. Right now, the pace is not bad for either team. Just not able to put it in the bucket.
That, by the way, was the 2nd personal on Abdur-Rahim. Significant foul. Loose ball run down, but Derek Fisher, who just checked into the game. Remember, Antonio Daniels, the point guard for Vancouver, out with the flu tonight. Back into Shaquille. Nice move.
Now, see, that particular shot came before the defense was double teamed.
And 1! That's the first basket of the night for Abdur-Rahim. Leaked out on the break after the Shaquille dunk and the Lakers celebration, and he'll also go to the free throw line.
Well, Raheem can do it a lot of different ways. The guy, he's standing 6'9", can get up and run the floor. Easy 2 points after the bucket. But watch Shaq on this double. He makes a quick move, falling away way before the defense could even decide whether they're going to double. Now, the question there is, when the double comes, Shaq has to get it out of his hands and get it to the weak side so that the perimeter game of the Lakers can work for him.
See the Lakers here getting a little bit careless with that rebound off the missed free throw, and the Vancouver Grizzlies will get it back. 6-5 Vancouver. Lee Mayberry back to Reeves. Good perimeter shooter. Big Country knocks it down. I say he's a good perimeter shooter, but how about this? In the last 3 games, Reeves is shooting only 29% from the floor. For a center, that's amazing. Eddie Jones on the run.
Well, that's because half of his shots come from 15 feet.
And Vancouver, with a 3-point lead, can build on it. That's one way to build on it, is get it down low. His nickname is Reef. Devout Muslim. He is fasting during Ramadan. You've heard a lot of people talking about that. Is it related to Akeem Olajuwon? And Shaquille has 7 points, all of the Lakers' total so far. I guess that's what he was talking about. Watch me, huh?
Well, that's what he's talking about, but you've noticed that the Lakers have not had very much up-tempo game going. That's because every time down court, they're giving it to Shaq down
Adjustment.
low. Adjustment.
Vancouver leads it by 3, 6:47 to go in the first period. Okay, this is about the 10th city I've been to this year that I've decided to move and live here. But I mean it this time.
Well, this is a good
the mountains, the water, greenery, Vancouver, British Columbia. Lakers have something more significant on their mind right now, and that's the left knee of Nick Van Exel. You notice he went out of the game early. They've got an ice pack on it over there right now. So we don't know the status of what happened. All we know right now from the Lakers people is that Nick has a stiff left knee, and Derek Fisher came into the ball game early. Van Exel had a very big game against this team the last time they played in November. Shaquille O'Neal, who has scored all the points so far for the Lakers, you see the numbers there, is on the bench after getting his first start since he came back after missing 20 games with his abdominal strain, and now Eldon Campbell in at center.
Well, so this is one of the reasons why Eldon is coming off the bench. Also because Eldon plays a lot better when he is one of the primary offensive players. Now he's getting a chance to be in with the second-tier guys where he can be that.
Reeves has 4 points, having hit 2 perimeter shots, and it is a 12-7 Vancouver lead. Something else Dell talked about is getting his team to have energy early in a ball game.
Well, getting his team to have energy early in a ball game against a team like the Grizzlies, they don't have a problem with that when they're playing teams that are above 500 or the upper echelon of the league.
Yeah, it looked like Vancouver tipped that ball in. Let's see who they give it to. It's going to go to Rick Fox. Vancouver started cold, but since then have hit 5 out of 6 shots. Vancouver has no problem scoring. They're a good offensive team. They're averaging 94.3 points a game. However, Vancouver's giving up 101.9, and they have a minus 7.6 differential.
And that makes them 28th in the league in that category. That's not going to get it done.
Yeah, the Lakers are second to Seattle in plus. They're averaging 8 points per win. Plus 8. 12-11 Vancouver.
I tell you what, Rick Fox is really giving this team a lift. He is such a versatile player.
Otis Thorpe. It opened up in the middle because of the double team that came down on Reeves, and Otis gets the basket. It's a 3-point Vancouver lead.
See, I don't think that they have to double team Big Country down there at the low post with Eldon guarding. They're both about the same size, a little more beef on Reeves' side, but certainly he'd have to make a couple of shots before we doubled him on my team.
Eddie Jones rebound Otis Thorpe. Out to Lee Mayberry. Punched away by the defensive play of Eddie Jones. Jones on the break. Now that's Laker basketball.
Well, that's Laker basketball, and it's also Grizzly defense. You see Reeves and Otis bunched up at the top of the key, not making the decision to get to Eddie Jones until it was too late.
Back down to Reeves again against Campbell. Jones gave him a little bit of temporary double team, but he backs away from Campbell and is now 3 for 3 from the floor. And Brian Reeves has 6 points. Vancouver 16-13, 4:39 to go in the first period. Derek Fisher to Rick Fox. Into Campbell. And a foul's going to be on Reeves. That's 2.
Now, Eddie Jones always doing his job. Look how he comes around. Look at the quickness of Eddie Jones getting around and then giving it up into the middle and keep running. Fisher find him, and up top you see Reeves and Otis Thorpe bunched up at the key, not making the decisions defensively quick enough. That is transition defense. It's something that the Grizzlies and Brian Hill have to work on.
We talked to Dell before the game about what are you going to do about Kobe Bryant. He's the top scoring 6th man bench player in the league.
Yeah.
He says, well, I'm not gonna pull Eddie Jones out of the lineup because he's a great player. You did.
I really like his answer.
There's Kobe's numbers. You see bench scoring leaders. He just came into the game. He's playing with Eddie Jones now. Derek Fisher, Kobe, Eddie Jones, Eldon Campbell, and Robert Horry on the floor for the Lakers.
Now this is the Lakers' three-quarter trap is something that has been giving teams problems. Lakers just try to do this, not necessarily to steal the ball, but to get you into a scramble situation where the tempo of the game stays high.
You see that George Lynch, who just came into the ball game, got the rebound, tried to put it back, dished away. Eddie Jones back down quickly. Here's Otis Thorpe. Mayberry. That's Lynch with the ball right now, wearing number 9 out of North Carolina, you recall, former Laker.
Otis Thorpe is a tough person for Robert Horry to handle down there. They're going to have to, I wouldn't double Reeves, but I certainly would double Otis down there.
Eldon Campbell picked up his first personal foul. 3:55 to go in the first period, and Vancouver continues to lead here by 1 point. Remember, they scored 65 against Seattle in the first half last Sunday before losing, and that's the first miss of the night for Reeves. Fisher misses from long range. Again, soft defense by Vancouver.
Soft defense. They just don't challenge people, and that's something that they have to work on. Expansion teams, second, third year teams is always a problem. Being aggressive defensively.
Mayberry averages about 20 minutes a game as the backup point guard. He'll have to give him 35 or 40 here tonight with Antonio Daniels out with the flu. Good hustle once again by Vancouver's George Lynch, and that's what he gives him when he comes off the bench, among other things. He came in a trade from Los Angeles with Anthony Peeler for draft choices. Now Nick Van Exel is back in, by the way, for Los Angeles, along with Shaq. So you see the wrap on the left knee of Van Exel. He's had problems with it in the past. Stiffened up a little bit. They put some heat on it, and he's back out here.
Well, this is one of those arenas that's pretty cold. It's a little bit hard to get warmed up. If you look at the players' bodies right now, there's really no sweat on anyone's body. No glaze going at all, and it's going to take a little time for that to happen. This game has to heat up a little bit soon here.
Vancouver playing shorthanded tonight. They not only have Anthony Peeler on the injured list, Doug Edwards on the injured list, Marcus Brown, but tonight they don't have Antonio Daniels, and Ivano Newbill, who's their backup center's mother, is ill in Georgia, and he returned to Georgia and is not with the team tonight too. So Vancouver playing shorthanded in this game against the Lakers, nevertheless leading it by 2. Into Campbell. Nice feed from Shaq, but Eldon missed the layup.
Well, that's one of the ways Eldon can get involved in the game when Shaq has it, finding a way, move when Shaq gets the ball. That was a very good cut on Eldon Campbell's part.
It's a little bit like the adjustment down at Miami with Ike Austin and Alonzo Mourning.
And Shaq will give it up, so it's no excuse not to go for it.
Shaq rejecting Lee Mayberry. Otis Thorpe's open for that short jumper. Loose ball's out of bounds. It's going to belong to the Los Angeles Lakers. 2:38 to go in the first period. Vancouver holding on to a 2-point lead, and get that out of here. And the Admiral and Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson making it happen.
Yeah.
Well, he has to. In order to get those two big guys involved in the game, he's got to create some opportunities.
I love Avery. Talking an interview with Avery Johnson.
He's a lot of fun. And the way he talks. Well, Reggie, I don't know.
That's pretty good. By the way, Avery, if you're watching, it was Reggie who did that orientation.
Well, I can whoop Avery.
Reeves is down, and Chilcutt is on the floor. Eldon Campbell tried to take it right to him. Shaquille did take it right to him. And you see the rebounding domination of Campbell and O'Neal in that game at the same time. New shot clock, 2:15 to go in the period. Vancouver by 2. Lakers looking to tie. Foul, Vancouver. That's going to be on Sam Mack.
Well, I'd like to see that a little bit more. Eldon Campbell being the primary receiver in that offensive set. Shaq on the weak side. Give Shaq a great opportunity to get some offensive boards, and they've got to double team Eldon Campbell, which is going to leave Shaq wide open to go and attack those baskets.
Eldon Campbell's a 69% free throw shooter. We might say he's emblematic of the Lakers. They're shooting .689.
No excuse for that with this team. The way they shoot the perimeter shot, the way these guys can bomb, no excuse for them to shoot less than 75, 76% from the free throw line.
There are only 3 teams in the league worse than the Lakers shooting free throws: Golden State, San Antonio, and Sacramento. Chilcutt gets it out to Lee Mayberry. Brian Hill going to his bench, and he doesn't have much of one tonight. Ivano Newbill and Antonio Daniels not here, and George Lynch stepped on the sideline. That'll be a turnover.
And Bob, you're looking at the versatility of the Lakers. Look at the lineup they have out there now. You got Shaq, Nick, Kobe, Eddie Jones, and Campbell. That tremendous way to go. I mean, he's got 4 or 5 different types of lineups that he can go to. What a luxury for him.
And Shaquille looking like he wants to get involved in the offense passing. And Kobe Bryant got himself caught in the air and had to fire up a prayer that wasn't answered. Vancouver still up by a point. Down to Otis Thorpe. Blocked by Shaquille. That's his second block. By the way, Otis Thorpe has 7 boards already here tonight. That's his average on the season. They'll need him to rebound with Shaquille and Eldon Campbell. Thorpe over Shaquille. Otis having himself a nice game here tonight. 5 points already to go with his 7 boards. Vancouver by 3.
And I imagine part of the reason why Dell changing his lineup quite a bit so far in this game is trying to find a combination that's going to click. The Lakers still look a little bit sluggish offensively.
Shaquille out to Van Exel, over to Eddie Jones, who missed it, and with a 3-point lead, Vancouver can build on it. And the Lakers, but they turn it over. The Lakers are only shooting 25% from the floor this first period.
Well, Bob, part of the reason I really believe is that you get different looks offensively with Shaq on the floor. All of a sudden, you're getting standing wide open jump shots. When he's not in the game, a lot of things, the team moves more. They have more cohesion out on the floor, moving in offense. It's a different look. Shooters will tell you all the time that shooting a standing wide open jumper is a lot harder than shooting the ball on the move.
Particularly with this kind of athleticism on this team. Shaquille gets fouled by Otis Thorpe, and Mr. Free Throw goes to the line. We're talking about both these teams are struggling. Vancouver's 24th, LA 25th in the league. And Shaq, of course, gets blamed for it. But as Dell said, he only, in that bad streak they've had lately, only shot 14 free throws.
Hide the women and children.
Well, there's basketballs bouncing everywhere. Shaquille's 2 out of 4 tonight.
So they're passing out crash helmets, huh?
You said, going back to your playing days, you don't even understand how good shooters like Van Exel and Rick Fox can have 50% nights at the line.
It's just beyond me.
Van Exel running out. Nice dish to Fox. And it's tied at 19 with 24 seconds to go in the period. Sam Mack, he'll take that shot for 13. Kisses off the glass. It's 21-19. You know, you never know in this league. On paper, this game is an early Laker blowout.
Well, in this game, the Lakers should have come out here with a little more fire in their game, especially after playing so lacklusterly against Philadelphia.
Kobe Bryant penetrating and scoring from about 8 feet. That would not have counted, although it was a nice effort from Mayberry. At the end of 1, it's 21 apiece from GM Place in Vancouver, British Columbia. We'll be back. We were talking about that today, Ernie, how you call GM Place the garage.
Hey.
This is a beautiful, classic structure in beautiful Vancouver, and Ernie calls it the garage.
Bob, I tell you what, he allowed me to say that one night. I felt so honored.
Well, I just want you to know, Ernie, that Reggie's parked his limo in here. He's using it as a big garage tonight. Tied at 21, ready to begin the second period from GM Place. A chill cut.
Good ball movement.
Just into the game, Blue Edwards rims it out of there.
That was good ball movement by the Grizzlies with the Lakers putting on that little trap they do.
First period stats, Lakers only shot 31%. They do have 7 offensive rebounds, however, and Vancouver 6-2 leading in turnovers, and that's why the game is tied. Sean Rooks has also come into the game for the Lakers. He weighs number 45. Lakers turnover. 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Mayberry back quickly from Blue Edwards.
Real nice touch pass by Blue Edwards.
Blue Edwards ended up with this franchise in the expansion draft in '95. He was in Utah at the time. Kobe Bryant. Hard pass to Rick Fox. Couldn't handle it.
Yeah, sometimes that happens when you pick up the ball off the dribble without handling it with 2 hands. Check this out. This is a nice play. Blue Edwards with the real quick touch pass. Lee Mayberry getting the layup.
Lee Merriweather. She's a model. Pete Chilcutt from the perimeter. They call him Chili is his nickname, but I thought it was interesting because he's also a vegetarian. He doesn't eat red meat. I don't know how it works in with chili. I guess you can have vegetarian chili. Not me, of course. Nick Van Exel from long range. The no-look from Kobe almost missed Rick Fox. Fox working on Lynch. Lynch grabs him down there. At least he didn't let him score.
But I tell you
unmolested.
I tell you what, Bob, Fox, you either going to foul me on this play or I'm going to score. I love that in offensive players. You make your mind up, I'm going to run you over or you're going to foul me. That's bringing it to the defense.
Rick Fox, the versatility he brings to the team. You mentioned it before. Plus, he, like you, is an actor. I just thought I'd throw that in. Well, both leading men types in case agents are listening. Eldon Campbell against Chilcutt. He fouls him. We've got Big Country Reeves on the floor with Chilcutt and George Lynch up front right now for the Vancouver Grizzlies. By the way, if I get through this game without calling them the Vancouver Canucks, I'll be surprised. Shaq and Kobe Bryant are on the bench. Brian Hill with a very nice suit there on Brian, you think?
I was very impressed with the tie. A little navy blue going with the gray stripes in his suit coat.
Dell was in a natty Madison Avenue charcoal gray 3-button tonight.
You are the you are the man.
I'm getting my swerve on.
Oh no.
Back to that. That's a wrong use again, wasn't it? Genetically, I'm not going to get it right. It's 27-22 Vancouver, and Del Harris is standing up with that hangdog look on his face over there. He is so unhappy with his Lakers. They've scored only 22 points here.
Well, he's got to be unhappy about the way the Lakers are shooting, plus the way their defense is playing right now. The Grizzlies getting just about any shot they want from all over the floor.
I thought you said it well. The holidays and New Year's Eve can be rough on a team that plays in L.A.
No question. L.A. does party over the weekend, especially on New Year's.
What is it, 10 single guys on this team? Something like that?
Yeah, he is.
It's an important statistic. Blue Edwards with the rebound, 27-22, Vancouver by 5. Trying to build their biggest lead of the night. George Lynch, runner doesn't go. Tipped by Campbell to Sean Rooks, to Van Exel, back to Eddie Jones, who missed the layup. Again, something Del Harris talks about. They make the break, they get the boards. This team has not been finishing on the breaks.
Well, I tell you what, it's one of those things that when you look at it, you might say, well, nice turnaround by Big Country Reeves.
Yeah, he's got some offense down there. 4 out of 5 and 8 hits tonight for Big Country.
When you look at that fast break, you might look and say that Nick Van Exel made a good pass. But Nick could have shot that ball also. And do the simple thing. Make the layup. Make it count. Do the old school way.
Biggest lead of the game for Vancouver.
Well, Bob, looking at Bob Hill, talking to him earlier, Brian Hill, that's a great statement. And Sharif told me before the game, he said, things that weren't taught to us last year are very clear this year. That Brian Hill has done that. He's a very meticulous coach, a guy who comes very prepared for every game. Practices are structured, games are structured, and he has a very good mental outlook on how to deal with his players. And I think some coaches are set for teaching young kids.
Went into Shaq, came all the way back around the perimeter and back down to Shaquille. Illegal defense is the call. They're calling it on Lynch. And yeah, Raheem has been on the bench quite a while for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Right now they have George Lynch up front with Chilcutt and Blue Edwards.
Well, if it's not broke, you can't fix it, right? I mean, you know, they're up.
He's only played 7 minutes in this game. Shaquille O'Neal missing. Reeves with the rebound. That's his 5th rebound tonight for Brian Reeves. The Grizzlies shot in that first period 46% from the field. They outscored the Lakers 8-1 in this period, 10-1 in this period. It's a 9-point Grizzlies lead. Wow.
Well, we talked about it earlier. The Lakers coming out just not with the same amount of fire they would if they were playing one of the upper echelon teams in the league. You can see it in their fast breaks. You can see it in the mistakes that they're making on the fast break. And then, not concentration, missing the easy trips early in the game.
And the quick follow as Blue Edwards lays it in. Take a look at this. The Lakers starters. With that miss, Jones is 1 for 7. Van Exel 0 for 3. Horry 0 for 3. That's 1 for 13 combined for those Lakers starters. And we have an 11-point Grizzlies lead with 7:53 to go in the half.
And I have to think that because of this situation, has a lot to do with the adjustments that they're trying to make with Shaq out on the floor. It has nothing to do with the way Shaq's playing or the way individuals are playing. It has a lot to do with the cohesion out on the floor. When you add somebody as dominant as Shaq is in the middle, you're not getting the same looks anymore. You're not getting the same kind of flow out there on the floor, and guys have to make those adjustments. But the problem is that they make the adjustments offensively. There's no excuse for the effort and the work that they need to put out defensively.
That was well said. Nice job there. I was about to read a promo, and I was kind of caught up into that. The promo is, though, it's worth listening to. Thursday night at 8 on TNT. Gene Hackman stars in Uncommon Valor. Sunday night at 8, Dustin Hoffman and Academy Award winner Jessica Lange star in Tootsie. Good flicks on TNT. 33-22, 11-point lead. Look at the shooting here. Amazing. Lakers, 25% tonight. They are first in the NBA in field goal percentage. And Shaquille breaks a scoring drop.
And I'm going to say this just to go a little bit further. Watch the Lakers, the lack of movement when they throw the ball into Shaquille. This is the big problem that I'm talking about.
George Lynch had it stolen. He says, hey, look, that's my rep, too, as a defensive player. From Eddie Jones, stole it back. Shot clock down to 5. Chris Robinson, who's just into the game, kept alive by Lynch. Stolen by Blue Edwards. Wild and woolly. Throws it away. Everybody's down. He has 3 players down deep against 4, actually, against 3 Lakers, and they turn it over.
Well, at least they're out there hustling out on the floor, getting down on the ground, getting a few floor burns.
This looks like an all-star game. Eddie Jones gets inside to score. It's 33-26 Vancouver.
Even though it's a little bit sloppy, this is basically the tempo both these teams want. It really plays into the Lakers' hands a little bit better, but it's also the way the Grizzlies want to get up and down the floor. This is not a team that wants to just play half-court basketball.
Lakers already with 7 turnovers. Vancouver with 8. That's Robinson penetrating. This is Bryant Reeves. Not this time. Followed by Robinson. Robinson, the second round draft pick out of Western Kentucky, who's had very little playing time, is called into duty tonight because Antonio Daniels is out with the flu. Robinson follows, and this is how he's going to earn more playing time.
Well, with the court opened up, there's room to make movement. Look at Robinson come in there, knife in there. Nobody put a body on him. Easy layup. Well, you said that the Lakers already got 7 turnovers. They only averaged 14 for the game. They're on their average way up from that.
Sharif Abdur-Rahim is back into the game. Vancouver has 11 points from their bench. The lob inside, not very well done, but Shaquille runs it down.
And that's why Sharif sat on the bench so long, because the bench is doing well.
And that's an offensive foul. It's on Shaquille. That's his first. Or actually, it's a travel.
Wow. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, that's the same move he does all the time.
That's his move. Did you have your move that you would say, don't call that because that's my move?
Yeah.
That was illegal?
Most guards, back in my day, we had the palming the ball that we, kind of used a little bit too much sometimes. Heck of a move. No, you palm. Ref didn't call it.
I've seen your crossover dribble. That was a palm.
Hey.
You cross it all the way over, bring it back to the same hand.
Same hand all day. You watch my game.
Yeah. 5:55 to go in the half. Reeves has it tipped out of bounds by Nick Van Exel. 35-26, Vancouver by 9. This Laker team lost their last game to Philadelphia. The 76ers have swept the Lakers.
Well, the Lakers have a tendency to feel like, they can win a game at any point. What a wake-up call this would be. I found myself saying the same thing when they played against Philadelphia, though.
That they'll come back. So
Yeah,
they thought that too. Philadelphia went on a run at the end to win that one. Horry on the break gets fouled by Robinson. Probably a good foul. It'll send Horry to the free throw line. Roberts only a 62% shooter there.
You know, people in LA were wondering why Robert Horry's numbers have been down and just concerned about Robert Horry. Robert Horry is the guy, you know, we talked to Dell about this, is a guy that does the little things out there. His primary function is defense and doing the small things, offensive rebounding, making things happen. And you can't have every player out on the floor wanting the basketball. Robert Horry is a joy to play with because he doesn't ask for the basketball.
Knocks down a couple there. It's 35-28 with 5:40 to go in the half. Horry's first 2 points of this game came from that free throw trip. Lou Edwards into, that's a deep position for Big Country. Even if Shaquille's down there, he gets the ball down there, he'll score there.
I'll tell you what, that's a good move by Big Country.
Big three from Eddie Jones. He just got himself set over in that corner and knocked it down.
Well, that's one of the first early offensive plays we've seen from the Lakers, getting a good shot with good rotation on the ball.
Chilcutt going back into Reeves. It's blocked. Don't try that too many times. That's 3 blocks in this game for Shaquille. Nick Van Exel now from the other corner, and that's a 3. Back-to-back triples for the Lakers, and it's a 3-point Vancouver lead, just like that. The Lakers are 4th in the NBA in threes made. They make 6.47 per game. That's the Grizz, the mascot here for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Speaking of Grizzly,
Looks a little bit like Al.
not Shaq. We met the mascot. Shaq has back first game to start since he missed 20 with the injury, and he's doing pretty well tonight. 10 points early in this ball game. He has 3 blocks, and it's a 3-point Vancouver lead with 4:45 to go in the first half. Sharif Abdur-Rahim with the ball, and that's an illegal defense call. Hugh Evans makes that call.
Well, the Grizz so far late in this second quarter has done a good job with their transition defense, discounting the last 2 times down for the Lakers, but offensively, great ball movement, moving it from strong side to weak side and getting back cuts.
Going down low to the youngster. Oh, that's a tough shot. He's a heck of an offensive threat. Talking about Abdur-Rahim. All-star numbers you mentioned earlier, 22.08 a game. Shaquille missing. Here's Rahim. Now remember, he's 6'9". Watch him handle the ball. Up and under. Shaquille caused a shot alteration.
And he got away with a carry.
Yeah, out here at midcourt.
Midcourt.
Don't say anything. You like the breaks. Let him run. Let him run. 39-34 Vancouver. 3:59 to go in the half. Chilcutt, little runner. On rebound. Lou Edwards. He's throwing it away again. That was a no-look looking for Chilcutt. Chilcutt going out. Edwards thinking he's coming in. And yet another Vancouver turnover. That's 9
Well,
for the Grizzlies.
that is just a lack of communication and really lax with the basketball. There's no reason to throw the ball away when both players are looking at each other.
Robert Horry from Nick Van Exel. Reed with a rebound. 39-34. Vancouver continues to lead it by 5. They've led it virtually all the way. It's tied at 21 at the end of the first period. Rahim working on Rick Fox, and look at those hands. Just stripped it away from the second-year star. Van Exel, 13 feet. This time,
The Lakers scoring from one place, 2 places. If it's not a deep jumper, it's deep in the post to Shaq. No other ball movement, no other free cuts, no body ball movement at all.
10 on the shot clock. Chilcutt's got that shot. This time, and the ball knocked loose down there into the hands of Abdur-Rahim. Sharif has 8, averaging nearly 23 a game, averaging nearly 8 rebounds a game. if Seattle goes ahead and finishes up in first place in terms of record at the end of the first half of the season, another miss, he'll come to rebound. George Karl said, from his view of Shareef Abdur-Rahim the other night, George Karl said he would probably put him on the All-Star team.
Well, it's going to be tough to do with the record of this team. Most of the time, it doesn't come from guys who are not playing at least 500 basketball. Look at the shooting percentage for the Portland Lakers, 27%.
Jones. He 41-36, 2 minutes to go in the half. Vancouver's been here before, though. They led Seattle at the half, too, before losing 120 to 108 on Sunday. Lou Edwards, open shot. That's a 2. Well inside the line. Big Country got the assist on that play, has 4 assists tonight. There's the double coming from the point. Shaquille tried to reverse.
You see, Bob, how you go into Shaq, you don't get it, he kicks it out, you throw it back in. When he kicks it out, go to the other side. Play the weak side of the court some. Get a screen from Shaq and bring him to the other side. Make it easy on him also.
Look at that operation down on the baseline by Abdur-Rahim. He's making a case for the All-Star team. I sound like a kind of shilling for him here tonight. 45-36, Vancouver by 9. Back at it again. Again, no, baby. That's 12 points for Abdur-Rahim, who has just caught fire here.
And the Grizzlies getting any shot they want all over the floor.
Up by 11. Up by 11. Under a minute to go in the half. Rick Fox misses from 3. Eddie Jones follows. He misses, even though he drew the foul. And it's going to be on Chilcutt. Coming up just 37.2 seconds from now in basketball time, Ernie Garage Johnson and Bob Hill will have the Nike halftime report. They'll have all the highlights from the Chicago-Boston game, the Phoenix-Indiana game, as well as other scores and highlights from around the league. Coming up on the Nike halftime report, Ernie and Bob. Jones hits the free throw, but he's only 4 of 13 from the floor tonight, is Eddie.
I tell you what, I'm not taking anything from the Grizzlies, but the Lakers, they have to go in the locker room and look in the mirror and just figure out what is going on here. This is ridiculous for this team. As good as they've played this year, the games that they've had to come out here and play like this game is already over, down by 11.
Shaquille scored the first 7 points for the Lakers tonight, but he's only had 3 points since then. And as this half comes to a close, Shaquille has 10, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks. This man is on fire. That double team is the right idea. Shot clock down to 5. Sam Mack got a foul on the Lakers.
That was a good move. You see how Sam kind of set him up and then crossed over real quick for him?
That is the second on Eddie Jones. One of the reasons that Rahim was sitting on the bench for quite a long time here is he picked up 2 early fouls in the game.
Well, and then the bench started playing well, and there's no reason to bring him back in. You save him, give him a little more rest.
47-38, Vancouver by 9, 17 seconds to go in the half. Coming up on Turner Sports next week. Well, actually, this coming week, tomorrow night from Miami, it's Tim Hardaway and company hosting the Chicago Bulls. Scottie Pippen's practicing with them.
Oh, yeah.
A week or 2 away. Game time's at 8 Eastern time on TBS tomorrow night. Friday night, TNT starts the night off in New York as the Knicks host the Bulls, followed by San Antonio at Phoenix. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. All of them are 8 Eastern time games, and you got of that list of teams there, 5 of the top 10 teams in the league.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Big night. Look at that. Rahim, 12 points in 14 minutes. That's big time.
Yeah, he's been on fire. And assist, Big Country has 4 assists. That's not exactly his forte. Bryant Reeves, 7 feet, 275, 24 years old. First ever draft choice by the Vancouver Grizzlies. 10 seconds to go in the half. Mayberry's done a good job with poise at point, playing in place of Antonio Daniels tonight, out with the flu.
And this is important for the Grizz to go into the locker room ahead by this many points. At least that gives them the head to know that they can play with this Laker basketball team.
6 of 9, 12 points from Shareef Abdur-Rahim. He got 6 quick ones toward the end of this half, and a 9-point Vancouver lead as the Lakers have shot only 29% from the floor.
We're going to profile a Hall of Fame broadcaster. Chick Hearn has been at the Laker mic for 38 seasons. Later this month, he's going to call his 3,000th consecutive game. And if the Lakers are going to win it, Chick will file it away as only he can.
This game's in the refrigerator. The door's closed, lights are out. The eggs are cooling, the butter's getting hard, and the jello's jiggling. And the people in L.A., they love it.
But where does that come from?
I don't know where
Chick?
it came from. No harm, no foul, yo-yoing up and down. The mustard's off the hot dog. They were throwing a wraparound pass. And there's 10 or 15 of them that we've had, but I don't know where they come. If I practiced them or thought about them, it wouldn't work.
You know, we think Chick is in his 70s. He's not telling anybody how old he is. Much more with Chick Hearn and his streak on Inside the NBA, along with all the highlights, updates, and scores with me and Bob after the game.
It looks like a postcard, but no, it's the skyline of Vancouver, British Columbia in the great Northwest. I guess from Canada's point of view, it's the great Southwest. 47-38, the Vancouver Grizzlies have really started this game on fire. We talked at the beginning of the ball game, Reggie, that Shareef Abdur-Rahim is somebody to watch. They haven't been on television much. This is a team that so far this year has only won 10 games. But he came in, started slow, got 2 fouls, sat on the bench quite a while, only played 14 minutes, but 12 points, and toward the end, this young man shows why people love watching him.
I tell you what, he is amongst the scoring leaders in the league at 22.8 points a game. That's number 5, and the kid standing 6'9" can do it all over. He's got long arms. He can go to the hole quickly, dunk on you, shoot the turnaround jumper, and age well beyond his 1 year in the league. Just tremendous athleticism. And tonight, doing it off the glass easily.
There you see 14 minutes, 12 points. You got 6 of those right down the stretch toward the end of the period. And Karl Malone, whom you saw there playing against in some of that earlier video, says he thinks he's perhaps somebody could be a candidate for the All-Star game, but it's tough in the West. Let's go now to a man who's the leading vote getter, and he's been out 20 games.
Shaquille O'Neal. Hey, doing his thing tonight. Shaq making it happen. Told us before the game to watch this. Well, so far, Brian Reeves is playing him stat for stat, but getting his things done. The thing with Shaq is he's doing well. His teammates have not adjusted to his presence on the floor yet.
Shaquille O'Neal, who got his first start, he missed 20 games, came back and played in 2. 10 points, 6 boards, 3 blocks are his numbers tonight. And on the opposite side, Brian Reeves has 10 points and 9 rebounds.
That's what I said.
The center for Vancouver. Field goal percentage. How about this? See the Vancouver percentage? First of all, the Lakers 29% is unbelievable. But Vancouver shooting 48%. Ironically, that's what the Lakers are shooting for the season, which leads the league.
Well, I tell you what, Vancouver, they shoot 45%, which is that they're not any slouches whatsoever. And they have a great percentage from long range. So this is a team that has never had a problem putting points on the board. It's stopping the other team from scoring. And tonight with the Lakers shooting 29%, that's playing right into their hands.
Lakers bench hasn't done much either. Kobe Bryant tonight played only 6 minutes in the first half, went 1 out of 2 for only 2 points. Eldon Campbell played 10 minutes off the bench. He has 4 all from the free throw line for Eldon Campbell, and Derek Fisher came in, didn't get any points as you look at some scores from around the league. On the other hand, the bench played very well for Vancouver. They got 4 points apiece from Robinson, Edwards, Chilcutt. And we are underway for the second half from GM Place in Vancouver.
Well, Bob, the magic number for the Grizzlies, 100 points in every ball game, because they are 5-0 when they've scored 100 or more points.
They scored 47 so far. Thorpe, defended by Robert Horry. missed everything. Neal runs it down.
Well, this is if the Lakers didn't come out and get into that three-quarter court press for nothing. They want this game to stay up-tempo because they figure they can get back in it if they still get the same shots they got in the first half.
Inside, Robert Horry getting it to go. It's 47-40 now, Vancouver, and a little bit of token pressure here from the Lakers. By the way, you saw Phoenix beat Indiana tonight. We'll have Phoenix against San Antonio on Friday night, second part of that doubleheader on TNT. Mayberry getting past Van Exel. Thorpe loses it. That's a missed shot and the turnover for Otis. 2-on-1. Exel to Eddie Van Jones. Dick Exel.
Not Van Halen. Not Van Halen.
It's Hollywood.
But I tell you what, see, this is why the Lakers have come out in this press. They're trying to get the Grizzlies to do just that, but Sam Mack shoots it well from deep in the perimeter, knocks it down. But again, the Lakers need to try to create some opportunities offensively. Shooting 29% in the first half, I don't believe that's going to happen again for the Los Angeles Lakers. Not in this game.
Rick Fox had Raheem in his face, but still knocks down the 18-footer. It's a 6-point Vancouver lead.
What Vancouver has to do is not allow the Lakers to rattle them. They've played a very solid game up to this point. They have to remain solid in their approach to what they're doing. Not get rattled, not try to do something that's out of character for them.
Shot clock down to 6 seconds. Lakers have picked up their defensive intensity. That one was from Seattle, but Mayberry missed it. It's Lakers ball. Interesting city, Vancouver. There's not much suburban here. Everybody lives in town. If it's this beautiful, I guess you'd want to. Nick Van Exel handling it for the Lakers. By the way, you know, Vancouver's named after a guy named George Vancouver. Did you know that? It's true.
No, I didn't know that.
Shaquille knows it. He told me. L.A. has not missed this quarter. We know that L.A. got off to a 1-for-7 start from the field in the first half of the play. Coming from nowhere, Horry with the block and the save, and the Lakers on the run, and they can cut the lead to 2 or less as Van Exel cuts it to or less. It's 50-49.
The Lakers coming out with a little different purpose in this second half. Tell you what, Robert Horry coming in doing his job defensively. Look at this block, and then takes it out of bounds and brings it back in, gives them another opportunity to get on the board, Bob.
Oh, Ernie, I love it when you say that. Ernie, those guys are on your tickets. And Phoenix, we talk about that win over Indiana, second best record in the East for Indiana. Phoenix on Friday night against San Antonio at Phoenix. That'll be a beauty. Second part of a doubleheader. Have the Knicks Bulls first on TNT. Van Exel.
All of a sudden, the Lakers press has made the Grizzlies take shots that they didn't have to take in the first half. Consequently, the Lakers are coming down with a little more flow in their game, a little more freelancing, and getting to spots where they're making their shots now.
Lakers are 6 out of 6 and have taken the lead 51-50. The Lakers did lead 3-0 to start the game, but other than that, this is their first lead in the game. This is what Seattle did to Vancouver when Vancouver led at the half on Sunday. Rick Fox nearly unmolested to the lane. And Brian Hill wants and gets a timeout as the Lakers now lead it by 3, and they have come out here in this third quarter on fire, blitzing the Vancouver Grizzlies.
See, all of a sudden now the Grizzlies are back on their heels, Bob. They're backpedaling. They see a different Laker team. All of a sudden now they don't feel like they're in such control and command of this basketball game, allowing the Lakers to get in.
The Lakers are 7 out of 7 from the floor in the first 3.5 minutes of this quarter.
Well, I tell you what, one of the things I heard in that 20 coming from Bob Hills was that we're not playing aggressive. I mean, Brian Hill, we're not playing aggressively anymore. And that's something that they have to continue to do, is stay hard-nosed and keep within the game plan. Don't get rattled by this press. Don't allow the defense to make you take shots that you don't want to take.
Eddie Jones knocks it out of bounds. 19 on the shot clock. It's Vancouver ball. Look at this run. 15-3 in the last 3.5 minutes. Oh, the key there is that Vancouver scored only 3 points. And
That's a good call by the referee. Robert Horry holding Otis Thorpe by the waist. Not allowing him to get to that little bitty lob.
So new shot clock, 8:18 to go in the third quarter. Abdul Rahim inbounding it. Look at that. Mayberry just kept running. He missed the jam. Sam Mack, ball away. No. And now the run. Eddie Jones. Rick Fox. Jones and Fox can get it done for you on the wings. Shaquille. It's 55-50, and that is 17-3. The Lakers have outscored Vancouver in this period. They've not missed yet, Los Angeles. 8 out of 8.
You almost get the feeling that Vancouver was happy with just being ahead at halftime.
Was it something Dell said?
Well, you know what he said. We can't probably repeat out here. And rightfully so. The Lakers being a whole different team coming out of the third quarter here. And not from the offensive end. They've made a lot more buckets, but it's their defense and their three-quarter court press that has got them back going in this basketball game.
There you go, 29% and 100%, 48 and 14. That'll about tell you there.
I'd say that's a pretty good difference.
The Lakers have scored 21 points in 4.5 minutes. Remember, we said at the top of the telecast, you're probably aware of, the Lakers are the highest scoring team in the NBA. They also lead the NBA in field goal percentage. Reeves draws the foul from Shaquille O'Neal.
Very explosive, Bob.
That's his first personal. We talked about 105.7. First time since, that's Showtime, 85-86. You see at the bottom of the screen. Last team to lead the NBA in points and percentage.
And they did that primarily without Shaq in the game. They were averaging 113 when Shaq was playing.
See that guy on the screen right there?
That's right.
He was on that team, Kurt Rambis.
He was the recipient of a lot of double teams. Every time you'd go away to double him because he was not much of an offensive player, he'd slip into the wedge spot and get those little layups from Magic Johnson. I wish power forwards and big men in this league would take a note. Power forwards and big men in this league would take a note from that guy and get into those slots. Just make yourself available to receive the basketball.
You can tell that's Eldon Campbell.
Absolutely. How'd you know I was talking about Eldon?
I don't know. I just... it could give Eldon, he's going to have to learn to do that, to get some shots like that with Shaquille back. Shaquille's going to have to learn, not learn to, he's going to have to find a way to stay on the floor. Shaquille O'Neal has missed a lot of games in his career.
Yeah, it's tough when you call yourself Superman.
Bryant Reeves gets it to go. Stop the bleeding a bit. 59-53 Los Angeles. 3 people around Shaquille. The kick out to Eddie Jones. Rebound Lee Mayberry.
See, that didn't go, but that's the kind of ball movement the Lakers have to get with Shaq in there. He got double teamed, he kicked it out, and the Lakers got a swing on the crowd.
Horry with the foul on Chilcutt, pulling him away from the rebound opportunity. That foul will be on Horry. And Robert has picked up his 4th personal foul.
But again, that's what he's out there for, and that was a good foul. Why give the Grizzlies a cheap basket? Of course, you don't want Robert Horry out of the game, but again, that's the way he plays. He gives up his body, he'll give up the foul, not thinking about himself, doing the little things. Robert Horry is a player's, coach's dream out there on the floor.
Campbell's in, he has 2 first. Mayberry misses, then intercepts. Chilcutt. Now Vancouver missing shots that are wide open. Those are 2 in a row that should have been hit. Inside to Campbell from Shaquille. Who got that block on there? That was Sam Mack. Lakers foul.
See, this is my point. You're going to tell me that Sam Mack can go up with Eldon Campbell and block a shot? Okay, so it was from behind, but I don't know. He looked like he was going to hit the rim with the ball anyway. Didn't get really a great look at the bucket. Sam Mack in the right place at the right time to get that block because Eldon can put it down.
Abdul Rahim will go to the free throw line. has not scored in this period. That foul was on Rick Fox, his second. Raheem's a pretty good free throw shooter. He missed 75% on the season. Just a couple of weeks ago, Sharif Abdur-Rahim turned 21. He would have been, staying in college, a senior at the University of California had he not come out after his freshman year.
He hasn't even scratched the surface of how good he could be. And the one thing that Brian Hill was saying to us early today is that he's so coachable. He's bright. And the players on the team, even at a young age, will listen to what he has to say. And that is a real plus for Sharif. And that's one thing that they have to do. He talked about they have to sign this guy next year, big time. They can't let him slip out.
Yeah, you're right about that. Campbell missed the lay-in after he was dished. It was given to him by Van Exel. They think they're going to sign him. They feel positive about that.
Well, he really loves it here in Vancouver, and he knows he's the franchise.
Now their first picks. Reeves, first one ever. Abdur-Rahim 2 years ago. Antonio Daniels, you're not getting to see him. He's an exciting young player. Antonio Daniels had a very high temperature today and the flu and did not even dress for this game. That was illegal defensive call on LA. And Mack will shoot the and misses. Vancouver ball trailing by 5:28 to go in the third period.
Still very much in contact in this basketball game. That's the word that teams like the Grizzlies have to always use, is stay in contact with the game, because fourth quarter you never know what will happen.
Sam Mack down low. Campbell comes in to give help and a block shot. And that's 10 Lakers block shots tonight. 5 different players have blocked the shots. O'Neal has 3. Campbell has 3. Fox and Ori 1 each, and Jones has 2. Dan Mack.
Lakers showing a lot more liveliness in their legs defensively this half.
Lakers by 5. 5 minutes to go, third period.
So we talked about what the Lakers probably talked about at halftime, and it's one of those things on the good teams, the teams with the maturity and the leadership, coach wouldn't have to say a whole lot when they got in there, because somebody on the team would step up and say, hey, we got to get our stuff together. This is ridiculous, guys.
Which is the key to championship.
Exactly.
Inside to Bryant Reeves for the jam before Campbell could get there. And the Vancouver Grizzlies have pulled to within 3 after a blitzkrieg by Los Angeles to open up this period. Reeves has 15 and 9 rebounds, is 7 out of 10. That's going to be Vancouver ball. Looking at Pete Chilcutt.
Chilcutt blocked Kobe Bryant's shot. He'll probably write that in his diary.
He has a diary? What are you talking about? 4:25 to go in the period.
Well, if he didn't, he'll start one now.
A diary. Well, he's a North Carolina guy, probably an English major. Lee Mayberry. And look at this, the field goal percentage. 31%, 26%, WAP 71%. And Big Country Reeves takes a lot of the country when he goes down. You know his story. He's from Gans, Oklahoma. And his town has a grand population of 251 people, 250 when Big Country's not there. No stoplight. And when they go back for the holidays, the population goes up because he also just became a new father. But he's from Gans, Oklahoma. And guess what the nickname of his high school team was? It's just fate.
Grizzlies?
Good guess.
No.
Yeah. The Gans Grizzlies. How about it? So he had all this stuff. He had stuff with Grizzlies all over it. And a chance to pull his team to this one. Chilcutt with the rebound and the putback, and it's tied at 59. And he gets another one. Grizzlies back in here in this ball game. And that, by the way, was on Fox, and that's his 3rd personal foul.
What was interesting about that for Chilcutt is he came from the right side of the floor all the way behind the defense to the left side and got that rebound.
Once again, these two poor free throw shooting teams continue to miss from the line. Chilcutt, though, off the bench, 6 points, 8 boards tonight. Had 10 in the loss to Seattle, 10 rebounds. Kobe Bryant being defended. And now this is the tough job for Abdul Rahim. He's a small forward. You got a player in the game that he's got to defend like Kobe Bryant. That's tough for any three.
Yeah, but it's also tough on the other end for Kobe.
Sam Mack. I think Campbell may have got a piece of that. Whatever the case is, it's tied 59, and the Lakers come back with it. Rick Fox, by the way, one of only 3 Canadian players in the NBA out there on the floor right now. Looking to post Campbell. Shaquille remains on the bench. Reeves played him tough, got the block. Chance for the Grizzlies to regain the lead. Well, they had Sam Mack had his man. He had to go back to him again. Abdul Rahim got down low, but no place to shoot. Chilcutt. Reeves got away with a push. Oh, over his head.
Big country Reeves down there flossing.
Flossing, 18 points, 10 rebounds for Bryant Reeves tonight. What a night. Oh, they're on their feet here at the GM place.
Look at the big fella. Now that's flossing, Bob.
Get them. LA hit the first 10 shots of the quarter, but have missed their last 6. Vancouver on a 10-0 run, sparked by Big Country Reeves. Big Country with 18 points and 10 rebounds.
Big night.
Plus, the Grizzly dancers are pretty good. And Sam Mack almost got away with that ball. They're going to call him for the foul. Sam Mack, not known as a defensive player, to put it kindly, has made some defensive plays tonight.
Well, you know, a lot of times they run that defense-offense thing with him and Blue Edwards. But tonight, doing a good job defensively.
Shaquille back into the game. Kobe Bryant looking for Shaquille. He finds Fisher, who just checked in. The ball reversal to Kobe, being defended by Abdul Rahim. That's a triple.
Well, that was good ball moving by the Lakers. Shaquille not having anything, quickly got it out to the top of the key, and then the ball reversal. Nice jumper on the weak side.
Lakers lead it again by 1 this time. 2:17 to go in the period. Chilcutt kicks it out to Bryant Reeves. Bryant Reeves has 20. Wow. Like the look of this young man. He didn't look this good on the video. Reeves is 9 out of 12 from the floor.
It's pretty tough with a haircut like that.
Kobe Bryant. Kobe heating up a little bit. Kobe only had 2 points in the first half. Only played 6 minutes in the first half. Leading scorer among non-starters in the NBA at 17.5 a game. Oh, Chilcutt needed to make that shot.
No, you got to take that shot.
Yeah. He was looking for Abdul Rahim down on the baseline, but Sharif had already headed in for the rebound.
Well, it's a nice thought, but you're standing 15 feet from the bucket. You're a forward that shoots the ball from the perimeter. You got to take that shot.
Reeves, by the way, is within 3 points of his season high with his 20 points he scored here tonight. His high is 23. Lakers are up by 1. Minute 27 to go in the period. Is that haircut called a fade?
Nah,
it's a crew cut.
No, it's a flat top fade, and I don't know. It's got this kind of like racing stripe down the middle. I don't know.
Lakers turnover. Vancouver ball with 1:06 to go in the period.
I think it might come from in that small town. They might not have a barbershop.
Well, they don't have a stoplight. How about they have a barbershop, though? We're going to get letters. It's Reggie Theus, T-H-E-U-S. Gans, Oklahoma. Chris Robinson at the ball game. Shot clock winding down. He had to throw that up. As you can see, Vancouver right now out of sync, not running any kind of offense as they trail by 1. Kobe Bryant, Shaquille. You're going to see that a lot in years to come.
Nice combination. Kobe drawing the defense and laying it off to the big guy. That's giving him the ball, letting him score without contact, and that's nice.
Del Harris says he tinkers with playing Kobe at the point, but says he already plays at 2 and 3. Notice that Nick Van Exel's not on the floor. Nick has only 6 points in this game, and Derek Fisher's gone a long way here in the 3rd period, running the point for the Lakers. Lakers up by 3. And you see there the problems that we talked about it earlier, that the 6'9" Sharif Abdul-Rahim has defending the quick guards, the 2 guards that he gets matched up against.
The way you do that, Bob, is you come out and you break yourself down defensively and keep a hand in the guy's face, but not let them get around you. Make them earn the respect of your jump shot. If they hit 3 or 4 of them, then you play them differently. But until then, you got to let them take those long shots.
That's the first foul in the last 2 minutes. We have 4 seconds remaining in the period. The Lakers up by 3. Derek Fisher looking for something as the buzzer sounds. Lakers lead it 66-63. After trailing at the half, the Lakers came out here on fire at the beginning of this period, scored 21 points in the first 4.5 minutes. The big, beautiful, great Northwest or Southwest, if you're looking at it from Canada's point of view, Vancouver, British Columbia. It is a big country, wide open spaces. Speaking of big country.
So Big Brian Country Reed from Oklahoma State College, 7-footer, doing it all over the floor, rebounding, offense, getting a swerve on, flossing, and then showing you that he's got a jumper.
All right, you're making me ask. There's Big Country right there. He's got 20 tonight. Shaquille only 18. Look at that, 11 and 9 on the rebounds. Shaquille does have 2 more blocks than does Big Country. Swerve and flossing. What's the difference?
One is with rhythm, one is with not.
I'm lost. I just don't speak the language. 66-63. Lakers. Final 12 minutes. I frankly thought that the Lakers would be in control of this game from the get-go here tonight, and it has not been that way. A gutsy performance by Vancouver.
No
they
question.
trail by 3.
No question. Came out and really got it done early. They weathered a big Laker run early in the 3rd quarter, and now
and remember,
trailing only by 3.
Yeah, and Antonio Daniels, turnover bounced off the knee of Big Country. Out quickly to Kobe Bryant. Out quickly to Kobe Bryant.
Oh, such body control right
Floss
there.
or swerve?
That was flossing and swerving. See, he's flossing after the shot. He got his swerve on right during the shot.
Okay, that's good. Good work with me on this.
It's going to take some time. We'll work it out.
George Lynch having problem handling the ball, gives it up to Otis Thorpe, goes back into Otis Thorpe down on the post. That's a tough shot for Otis. You got to push on that. No foul. Out to Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones and Kobe Bryant on the floor at the same time. Illegal.
Unreal. You got it all over the place. I tell you what, though, as soon as the Grizzlies make a mistake offensively and the Lakers get the rebound, they are off and running. And Lakers 8 straight points right now.
63% of the second half, and it's a 7-point Los Angeles lead. The way the Lakers get this going is defensively. Well, that's how they did it at the beginning of the quarter. That's 22 for Brian Reeves.
And that's why they go into the trap, to get the tempo up defensively, make things happen.
Now Shaquille's going to come back and answer, but Big Country grabs him. Look out, Shaquille can lose his temper, you know. Ask Greg Ostertag.
Yeah, really. Big fella down low. Looking nice, little head fake, little bump in the arm, and still gets it off like real sweetly.
3 fouls on Reeves. 70-65 LA, 10:15 to go in the ball game, along with Reggie Theus, Bob Neal with you from GM Place in Vancouver. Albert Horry posted up against Thorpe. Shot clock to 10. Shaquille around and over the double team. Blue Edwards comes in with the rebound. And we've got a double dribble on Blue Edwards. Del Harris called that. Then Lou Grillo also called it. Vancouver has 19 turnovers. tonight.
Wow. And still in this ball game. Unreal. They averaged 17 for the year.
Yeah.
So that's not far off the mark. But doing it other ways tonight, though.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, Antonio Daniels, their starting point guard, their #1 draft choice, is out with the flu. And they also missed tonight, despite the fact they're playing pretty well, they missed the presence of Ivano Newbill, who can certainly come in and give you 6 fouls and play tough against Shaquille and Eldon Campbell. And Eddie Jones hits the triple, and that's Eddie's second, and he has 20.
Well, you know, what Newbill does is allows Bryant to play with his lineup a little bit more. A few more fouls to give.
That's a season high for Bryant Reeves. Give him 24 on the night.
And
Let's start checking his career stats here in a minute.
Well, I tell you what, he's doing it from a lot of different places, but he's doing it by establishing his offensive position early in the set of the offense, and then taking it inside or outside. As you see, Kobe Bryant taking it to the hole with the left hand. This kid's got tremendous body control. When you see him go to the bucket, you only can think of one other player that's capable of doing this. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. Very nice. Look at the switch of the hands. If you can't get it off right-handed young fella, pull it to the left and lay it up softly.
Del Harris said today, he says, this young man, he's just 19, is a team leader. He's just 19. He says, don't tell him he can't be a team leader yet.
Absolutely.
Because he already has the attitude.
Well, what he said was that you'll see in the very near future that lack of leadership and that person on the floor that the Lakers don't have is going to be Kobe. It's just at 19 years old, he needs to wait a little bit more time before he steps out all the way. But he also said that there are times at practice where Kobe expresses himself pretty strongly about how things are going.
It's like be George Lynch here on this jump ball. 9-point Lakers lead. Shaquille easily. By the way, fast draw, Marty Aronoff looked up that quickly. Big Country Reeves high. 39 points is his career high. Now that surprises me. Thought it'd be maybe around 30. 39 points. Only 24 tonight. Another Laker turnover. George Lynch wasn't looking, and Horry came away with it, and that's what Robert Horry does so well.
Well, one of the things also is that Shaq has to get better at making that cross-court pass on the double teams. Very important for him to be precise in receiving the ball down the low post and getting it out to the perimeter people. You can't make those kind of mistakes.
Shaquille picked up his second personal there. 76-67, LA, 8:29 to go in the ball game. As you said earlier, Reggie, Vancouver remaining in contact here, down by 9. Inside to Thorpe. Wanted to make a pass, ill-advised. Van Exel back into the game. With fresh legs. That's a triple.
Nick, did you see how he went behind his back and got into his rhythm? And it doesn't matter when a player gets in his rhythm, it doesn't matter where he is on the floor. You pull up in your rhythm and you let it fly.
Blue Edwards coming off the screen. Rebound, George Lynch. Puts basket. It's good for George. And George has his first basket of this game. 10-point Laker lead. 7:42 remaining.
You know, you talk about rhythm, Bob. I know guys that in the course... Oh, look at this.
Reeves blocked that by getting good position down.
Seeing the play coming. We've seen that play many times. You know, that's one of the Lakers' favorite things that they do. So he saw that a long way. But I was going to tell you about rhythm. I know guys that played in this league that when they chew gum, on the third chew, they shoot their shot. That's how important it is at times. I'll tell you about it when we come back.
I don't believe it. I flat out don't believe it, that's all. 10-point Lakers lead, 7:16 to go. Time for tonight's Dutch Boy in the paint. And here are the centers and how they scored in the paint this year. Of course, the leading scorer there is David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, who's out for the year, Brian Williams, Detroit, Kevin Willis, who talk about all-stars. He ought to be on the all-star team. Shaq tonight, 18, but Big Country has 24.
Big Country.
What do you think, Kevin Willis, all-star?
I think Kevin Willis has held that team together. You know, with the injury to Hakeem and Charles being in and out, Kevin Willis has emerged as a star.
Shaquille O'Neal, leading vote getter among Western centers. John Barry into the game for the Lakers. His first time to play in 8 games. The Lakers have been going with just about an 8-man rotation.
That's an interesting choice, bringing John Barry in the game, and I thought that Fisher had been playing pretty good for him. They made a nice little run with him in the game before.
Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant. Kobe has 14. Have we told you about Kobe Bryant? Have we told everybody if they should watch this young man?
I think they know. If they don't.
12 this half for Kobe. 81-69, 12-point Lakers lead. That's their biggest of the game. The runner, Blue Edwards. The rebound. Shareef Abdur-Rahim.
You know, there's a lot of talk with the Lakers trying to move Eddie Jones, different players coming to the Lakers and stuff. You know, a lot of that reason is because they got to find a place for this kid to play. You know, another year or so, people around the country, Lakers fans,
you got to have him on the floor.
Him coming off the floor. I mean, coming off the bench.
Or coming off the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Abdur-Rahim had some words for Kobe Bryant. Abdur-Rahim just turned 21. Kobe's 19, 2 of the bright young stars of the league. And if you watch them away from the ball here, down over on the left side of your screen, they are really battling each other.
Well, see, Shareef is telling them young fellas, a couple of years ago, I made that mistake.
Nick Van Exel open, missing the 3. Good positioning by Otis Thorpe, bodying O'Neal out of the way, allowing Blue Edwards to get the rebound, and Mayberry missing. Tip also missed by Rahim. 81-72, Lakers by 9, 6:07 to go in the game. Got a quick foul, Otis Thorpe getting on Shaquille before he could even make his move. You know, the Grizzlies had a second half problems. We were looking at the videotape of that Seattle game. Sunday, Grizzlies led by 9 at the half, lost by 12. Tonight, Vancouver led by 9 at the half, and they've been down by as many as 12 in this game, now down by 9. There's a hard foul from Pete Chilcutt as Kobe Bryant goes to the hoop.
Kobe Bryant's got a very quick step, and he elevates quickly, and that really helps him getting to the free throw line.
Let's go back to this finding time for him. Obviously at 19, even though he's a potential star in this league, Kobe Bryant it's easier for him to accept that personally than it would be Eddie Jones, who's already established, moving to the bench.
I agree with you.
But it seems like the only thing you can do is make a trade.
Well, you have to find room for him. But if Kobe Bryant was a different type of individual, there could be a problem out here. The fact that Kobe is willing to come off the bench with no problem, not cause any problems, you know, it allows the Lakers to be second in the league right now.
Kobe has scored 14 points in the last 8.5 minutes of this half. Lakers by 11.
And he's so willing to learn, willing to make mistakes and make it happen on the basketball court. But he's got to have room to do this. He's got a lot of growing to do.
Stole the ball from Abdur-Rahim, and Chilcutt comes back with it. Vancouver's still hanging around here, down by 11 with 5:31 to go. Inside, Blue Edwards wasn't really ready for that pass. Nice idea. Out of their rhythm. You were talking about. Oh, by the way, while we have a moment as they inbounded, who is the player who shot on the third shoe? Wouldn't have been you.
Actually, it was me. Sorry, that's how come I knew that. Unless I was in someone's mouth, how else do I know that?
That's a triple from Mayberry. Vancouver holding on to it. I thought about it for about 5 minutes. And I thought, how would he know that? 5:12 to go.
But you know, when you talk about rhythm, it's a complete science with players. Things that they do to get into the rhythm and things that help them get into the rhythm. You'd be amazed at some of that.
That was a foul before Shaquille went to the bucket, but that'll send him to the line anyway. Team fouls here. That's Vancouver has 5. Lakers have committed only 2. And Shaquille at the free throw line. 2 for 4 tonight. 3 for 5. Shaquille's number on the year, although he hadn't shot that many, he's down at 47%. Shaq gets them both. He has 20 points, 10 boards, 3 blocks in his first game starting since missing 20 with his abdominal strain. And by the way, a hairline fracture in his right wrist, his shooting wrist, has bothered him too, playing with that. He's had so many various injuries in his career. They're all different too. Blue Edwards. This is Chilcutt running it down. Back to Edwards. Fouled hard by Shaquille O'Neal.
When you talk about Shaq's injuries, they're not injuries that you can play with. You know, a lot of times guys get hurt and they sit out. Well, they sit out and they should be playing. But Shaq's injuries have not allowed him to get on the floor because those are injuries that would get worse if you did that. And these are his injuries this year.
Blue Edwards at the line. You see T. Edwards on his jersey. That's because his real name is Theodore. Interesting story. You probably heard it, but maybe not in a while. The reason he's called Blue is his sister found him choking as a baby.
Oh, wow.
And saved his life, and his face was blue. And obviously, it turned out to be something they could make light of. And they called him Blue. That's where the name comes from. That's a scary way to have a nickname.
Tell you what.
85-77. Lakers, 4:32 to go. Reeves about to check back into the game. Rick Fox nowhere to go. Went to Shaquille and get it back to it really beautifully. Shaquille has really come up with a lot of additional parts to his game like that. 5 assists tonight.
Well, he has a willingness to pass the basketball, and that's always first and foremost. Big fella, that's why we were talking about early, Bob. When the Lakers pass it into Shaq, they have to make free cuts. They have to do the right thing off the ball because Shaq has no problem with giving it up. The one thing I just want to see him do a little bit more of is when he receives the ball and the quick double team comes, he has to get it out of his hands quickly, back over to the weak side.
Shaquille just picked up his 4th personal foul there as Otis Thorpe goes to the free throw line. Thorpe's a 69% shooter. These teams ranked 24th and 25th in the NBA in free throw shooting. Vancouver only 8 out of 17, 8 out of 18 tonight. And think about that, they're down 10. Be a single-digit lead and really close if they'd hit just 5 more free throws. 4 minutes to go. Bryant couldn't handle it. Officials not sure who last touched it. Hugh Evans and Lou Grillo talking to each other. They're going to give it to Vancouver.
You know, when you talk about free throws, Bob, one of the reasons I have a big problem with that is because free throws are something you don't have to have the team to come and work on. There's no reason that you shouldn't be in here if you're not shooting a great percentage from the free throw line on your off day, shooting 100, 200 free throws.
We have a foul on Abdur Rahim as he tried to strip the ball away from Shaquille O'Neal. 10-point Lakers lead. Tonight, we're talking about percentages. Tonight, Vancouver shooting 44% at the free throw line and 22 turnovers. There's an update on the story. See the Lakers tonight, 15 out of 19. Led by Mr. Free Throw. I guess you can take the hard hats away from the women and children here. And Shaquille's just draining them out tonight. He's 5 out of 7. Never thought that free throws would be such an adventure.
Hey, listen.
See the tape on that right wrist. That's where the hairline fracture occurred of Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of rotation, good follow through.
Bend his knees well. A lot of times Shaq has a problem. He doesn't bend his knees well. He shoots his free throws very stiffly.
Going to need some offense from this man if they're going to get back in here. Shaquille rips down the rebound. And he's called for traveling. That's 12 boards. But then the travel for Shaquille O'Neal. Vancouver gets the ball back. Abdur Rahim is going to have to find a way to score inside, and that's pretty tough when you're a small forward and your game is inside and you've got to deal with Shaquille.
Well, that's when you have to make adjustments in your game. You got to step outside the blue paint and shoot your short jumper. You got to go to your short game when you got a big man in there.
Loose ball foul on Bryant Reeves. This half, Abdur Rahim is only 1 of 4 from the field, by the way, after closing out the first half on fire. Vancouver's going to get a timeout. 12-point Lakers lead, 3:21 to go in the ball game.
So,
Play broadcasters. There's Chick, not yet back on the air.
Ties it.
Get this stuff straight. Look at this tonight, 2,994. On January 19th, Chick Hearn will do his 3,000th consecutive broadcast. You grew up listening to it.
I grew up listening to Chick, and I can just about call it for you, Chick.
Minutes
I tell you,
played since
we'll listen to him talk a little bit.
35 minutes tonight. He's made 8 out of 19 shots, made 6 out of 8 free throws, and he's got 13 rebounds and 5 assists. He's had a nice ball game. 3 block shots, 22 points. The fella just getting himself back in a breathing space. You know, it takes a lot to get the oxygen flowing right after you've been out as long as he was. Good dip of the knees for this free throw, but it's way short. Somebody told him he got 5 in a row and he was going to try to make it 6.
I wonder who that somebody was.
Me. He won't make this one either. Maybe he will.
Well, make up your mind. Either he will or he won't.
He will. I'm just kidding. 22 points, 13 boards. Here it is. Look at that. Right in there. But it came out. Van Exel gets the rebound. Van Exel's had a pretty good ball game. Brian with it. Kobe got all of his points in the second half.
Okay, Chick stealing the show. That's all I can stand. That's all I can stand. Now,
Go ahead, Chick.
I'm afraid I feel like Wally Pipp. I'll never be back on again.
Hey, listen, I
Chick
grew
Hearn.
up listening to Chick Hearn. I could just about call in my sleep. Hey, welcome to your Lakers simulcast. I'm Chick Hearn. This is West to Goodrich. Hippity hop across the half-court line.
Dribble drive.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, in the popcorn machine.
And you know what? He's a wonderful man. I met him 25 years ago, and he just treated me like a gentleman. Sam Mack from there, 91-80, 11-point game, 2:43 to go. It ain't over. Although I wouldn't bet on it going the other way, but 2:33 to go. Vancouver has never beaten Los Angeles. Lakers win here tonight. It'll be 10-0 since the Vancouver Grizzlies came into the franchise. And Rick Fox, we haven't talked much about him tonight, has 16 points, has played a good ball game. He has 8 rebounds to go with that, and has been playing very well lately. Rick had 4 blocks against Atlanta in the Laker win. Abdul Rahim has fouled hard as he took it in between Shaquille and Rick Fox.
A very quiet 16 points for Rick Fox, but can do it on both ends of the floor. He and Robert Horry are the Lakers' established defensive stoppers, but Rick Fox has done a tremendous job. That's his 5th foul, but you know what? That's what he does. He comes in and he's aggressive defensively, just like Robert Horry is aggressive defensively. See, there's something about your defensive players end up with more fouls than the other guys.
Isn't that interesting? Robert Horry on the bench. Abdul Rahim gets both of those free throws, and we're back to an 11-point Lakers lead with 2:10 to go. Some pressure now. And here's part of the problem in this second half, and that has been Abdul Rahim being matched up against Rick Fox. He's had a problem with that, and occasionally he's been matched up against Kobe Bryant. Look at that ball movement. Del Harris loves that. Look, loose ball foul. It's going to be on Vancouver. And it's on Brian Reeves with 1:51 to go in the game. His 5th foul.
Brian Reeves not having great position for that rebound, really just tried to wrap his arms around Shaq to stop him from getting the rebound and starting a fast break with it.
Shaquille goes to the free throw line. He's just having his usual Shaquille game. 36 minutes, that's the most he played. He played 20, 31, and now 36 minutes since he came back from the injury. 25 points. He is 7 of 11 from the free throw line, 13 boards, 5 assists, 3 blocks. You heard Chick say that a few minutes ago, but I wanted to
Well, I tell you what, that's an all-around basketball game. You know, Shaq has come back. He's worked hard, you know, in his rehab of his injury. I think the other Lakers really have to be the ones to make the adjustments to the big fella.
Shaquille O'Neal fouled Sharif.
There's got to be a way not to give up your game and implement Shaq back into the offense. The team was playing wide open ball for several weeks without Shaq, and everything was flowing well. Shaq gets back in, the ball has to stop a little bit. All of a sudden, players have a tendency to stand around, throw it in, and watch him play. You can't do that.
Rahim back to the free throw line. Still 11-point, minute 42 to go. Abdul Rahim has been averaging 22.8. That's good enough for 6th in the NBA in scoring. He didn't like that one from the moment he left his fingers. 11-point Lakers lead. So unless something very unusual happens here, the Lakers are going to go to a record of 25-8. Vancouver will have lost their 7th consecutive game. Kobe Bryant double clutch. Couldn't get that to go. Didn't get the call.
Well, I tell you what, we talked about Blue Edwards being a much better defender than Sam Mack. Had his hands all over that ball. Kobe doesn't double clutch. He gets it blocked.
Blue Edwards. 9-point game with 1:17 to go. Full court pressure. Turnover. Rahim has it. He's going to go back with it, and he's fouled by Rick Fox. Oh, 1:08 to go. He hits these 2 free throws. It's 94-87. And that's 6 on Fox. He's out of the game.
I tell you what, unless the referee saw something I didn't, I thought Rahim hit the side of the backboard instead of Rick Fox hitting his arm. Check this out. Baseline. Rick doesn't move. Rahim loses the ball on the side of the backboard.
Excellent call. That was not a foul if you were to look at it again from the official's viewpoint. Nevertheless, Fox goes out in 35 minutes with 16 points, 8 boards, and 4 assists. Coming up on Turner Sports, we continue with our NBA coverage. Tomorrow night from Miami, it's Tim Hardaway and company with the Chicago Bulls. Game time 8 Eastern time on TBS. Friday night TNT, a doubleheader for you. New York Knicks host the Bulls, followed by San Antonio at the Phoenix Suns. Suns stopped the Indiana win streak tonight. They won that by, I think it was 1 point. Correct me if I'm wrong. Phoenix beat Indiana tonight. Indiana, by the way, with the 2nd best record in the East, just like that, and those are big misses.
Oh, those are huge misses.
Vancouver's 11 of 24 from the free throw line tonight. Along with their turnovers, that's been the difference in the game.
Well, Vancouver right now in a scramble situation, trying to pick up a little bit on the full court side. I think they should have started that a little bit earlier if it was going to make a difference in this basketball game. Right now, it's just going to be a free throw fest with that situation.
Vancouver has played this game tonight without Antonio Daniels, their starting point guard, who's out with the flu, without Ivano Newbill, who is in Georgia with his mother, who is ill, and already Anthony Peeler and Doug Edwards and Marcus Brown are on the injured list. So they only had suited up 10 players tonight and played, I thought, a lot of effort, gave a lot of effort tonight.
Well, Coach Brian Hill has to be pretty proud of his team and the way they came out and stuck with the game plan under these adverse conditions and really outplayed the Lakers for 3/4 of the game.
Sam Mack, he's been struggling in this ball game. Sam's been scoring very well lately, but not tonight. The last 2 games, Sam Mack was 19 of 28 from the floor. Tonight, Sam has only 11 points. There's Shaquille and Rick Fox, and a lot of money on that bench. Nick Van Exel.
That's a very talented squad over
Sean
there.
Rooks.
Sean Rooks, with Shaq coming back, is probably the one who's going to suffer most with his minutes. And he's a pretty good player himself. Shea Seals sitting on the bench, and I can't remember what injury he has, but he's been he works out with the Lakers. A little traveling with the team, but certainly no room on the roster right now.
Corey with the free throw, 98-85. 41 seconds to go in the ball game. Well, the Lakers have had it all the way around tonight. Shaquille O'Neal, Mayberry missing, Campbell rebounding. Shaquille with 25 and 14 boards to go with his 3 blocks. Eddie Jones, 21 points. Kobe Bryant's off the bench, right at his average. Leading scorer among non-starters in the league, 17 for Kobe Bryant. He had 15 in the second half, and Rick Fox, before he fouled out, had 16 points. There's our Bud player of the game. Pretty easy call tonight.
Oh, no question. What an all-around basketball game. But I tell you what, Big Country took it to him for 24 points, 11 rebounds. It just wasn't a gimme, big fella. And I just looked it up. Shea Seals has back spasms. That's why he's not in uniform.
Shea's a rookie from Tulsa. And that's a lot of fun for Shea to be in his suit.
It's a nice suit.
And Derek Fisher at the free throw line with 22.5 seconds to go. Bryant Reeves sits down with his season high of 24 points. Chilcutt's in to finish up this game. Vancouver, by the way, they'll play at the Clippers on Wednesday, tomorrow. Lakers go to play Milwaukee. Then on Friday, Vancouver goes to Charlotte, Sunday at Miami, and then Tuesday back here to play Philadelphia. And 7 of 16 January games for Vancouver will be against sub-500 teams, so maybe a chance to get off the schneid. They've now lost 7 games in a row, has Vancouver. And the Grizzlies' record falls to 10-24. The Lakers go to 25-8 and are 12-5 on the road. Los Angeles getting Vancouver. We'll be back to wrap it up from GM Place in just a moment.